Hey guys, welcome back to another video here on Rura's Rings. This week we're going to be making a promise ring. I've had this idea for a little while now and I absolutely love the design aspect behind it. A promise ring is something that you want to replace. Not necessarily get rid of, but you want to replace it with the engagement ring that you end up getting your significant other later down the road and later on in life. It's perfect size for everyday wear and I'm just really pleased with the design, especially because this can be with diamond, it can be with birthstone, it doesn't have to be a promise ring, it can just be a regular ring that you wear. The way that the setting is placed on the band, it allows for other rings to stack easily with it. This specific ring will be on the website very soon. Again, I'm aiming for all of these pieces to be released before Thanksgiving to allow for Black Friday, to allow for enough time to create pieces for Christmas, and a long enough turnaround time for orders and everything like that. This ring will be offered with a variety of different gemstone options, specifically birthstone options, of course diamond. So I hope you guys enjoy. Without further ado, here's how to make a promise ring with 14 karat gold and diamond. So first things first, we're gonna take our wire. I am currently using 16 gauge round 14 karat yellow gold wire, and you just wanna mark out and wrap it around the mandrel at what size you want. I think I'm gonna go for a size 9. A little trick I like to do is to do it probably like 1 to 2 sizes tighter, because the wire will like usually not form super tight against the mandrel. So I try to go as small as a size as I can and then just kind of squeeze it up to where it sits on tight. You see how it's tightly fitting around size 9 now? So you just kind of hammer it down. All right, so it's looking pretty good. It's fitting just right there, and I'm gonna slide it off and just kind of try it on and see how it fits. Okay, it's fitting pretty good. If I wanted to, I can move it to my middle finger, yeah. Okay. Or I could put it on my thumb, which I probably won't wear it on my thumb. I'm not very big on wearing thumb rings. I feel like they kind of stress me out. A little too much of a sensory overload for me. It's okay if it's slightly too small, because when you're hammering it and reforming it on the mandrel, it kind of stretches it a little bit. So it's okay if it's just like a little itty bitty bit too small. All right, so I'm just going in with my flush cutters and making sure that the flat side is facing the edge that we're keeping. And I'm just going to go in and cut alongside and just make a little. All right, so we have our ring shape cut out, and we're just going to put our gold away because it's very expensive. We're just gonna file the ends of the wire really quick to make sure that they sit flush, because when you snip it, sometimes it leaves a little bit of a weird, funky little movement. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and file that down really quick. Got a smooth, flush connection. The best way to tell if it's flush, in my opinion, is run your finger along it, and if it feels like it catches, then it's not all the way flush. So you want to move it up and down against the seam line, and if it catches in any way, then it's not as flush as you want it to be. All right, so I have our flux, and I'm just gonna flux the area. Remember, with no flux, no flow. All right. And I don't know if you can see it from here, but I have just a little itty bitty bit of solder right there. And so now we're just gonna go in and solder this bad boy so we have it ready for our next step. I'm gonna turn it down a bit because I don't want the gold to melt, because gold is a lot softer and a lower melting point than silver. Or it's captain, it's a matter of flux. All right, so we have our ring made up. We're just gonna be melting down some gold into a ball and then hammering it flat and then flush setting a diamond into it. It's very similar to the video you'd watched last week where we flush set a diamond into the diamond dewdrops pendant, but this time it's into a ring and it's a flat surface, not a flat surface and a rounded bottom. It'll be flat and flat on both sides. Okay, so we have a ball formed. I am gonna let this cool down and flatten it out with a hammer just to see the size we have, because we're gonna need to fit a 3mm diamond. So I'm just going to start with this, hammer it down, see how it looks. If it is too small, we're going to add in a little bit more gold here and there until we get to the size desired. So one thing we need to account for is the thickness of the disc, because it needs to be able to, of course, fit the diamond inside of it. And so even if the diameter seems like it's good, if it's hammered too flat, it's not gonna work. So I'm going to use our trusty dusty millimeter gauge and measure out the diamond that I'll be using, and then measure the size of our gold to see if it fits or not. Look at that stunner. Oh, I love diamonds. I used to always think like, oh my gosh, diamonds are so overrated. I don't like care for diamonds. Oh my gosh, everyone has a diamond. It doesn't matter. Diamonds are so overrated. But then I started working with them and like they're so shiny. Like the actual glittery, glistening, shiny effect you get from a diamond, I have yet to see from another stone. And so I've really fallen in love with them given that. Okay, so it's a 2mm depth. So we need to make sure that our gold piece is at least 2.2mm. Oh, it's too small. It's 1.2mm, so we're gonna have to add a little bit more gold. Of course, you do wanna remember that the actual ring will have some depth to it too, but you don't want it to go straight through the ring. So we're just gonna add in little bits of gold here and there until we get to the depth and diameter needed to set a 3mm diamond in this ring. I'm just going to file down the side we soldered our ring on, give it a flat surface so that we can have a flush connection with our hammered down ball so that we can solder this piece together. So we have this bad boy soldered. We're just going to hammer it down on our mandrel and get it formed into an actual ring shape, and then start polishing up and getting it ready to flush set our diamond. Now we're just going to file it and polish it so that we can set our diamond in it. I'm very excited. It's looking really cutesy. It's just a perfect size. It's really cute, it's simple, it's dainty, but a big enough stone to where it catches your eye when you wear it. Your stars above, leading us on and on into the unafraid. Oh no, I'm not afraid of the dark.
was asleep, but you make your own sunlight. Colors that dance on sky and sea. I dreamt my feet were rushing to meet the tree line.
All right, so we have her all polished up, and honestly, this is just as beautiful without a stone, but I do really want a stone in it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the setting drilled out with some ball burrs, and once I'm ready to place the stone in, I'll see you guys then. So I'm just going to go in with my ball burrs and my hand vise and hand drill out a setting for the diamond to sit in, and then we're going to flush set it. Okay, so I let my camera charge for a bit and I drilled out the setting, and I'll kind of explain that because I feel like the last video I had done, I didn't necessarily explain it as well as I wanted to, and I just want to make sure that you guys understand what's happening so you can do this kind of thing on your own. So I have 4 different sized ball burrs, and it'll depend on the size of stone you're using. I worked my way up from a 1 millimeter, 2 millimeter, 2.5 millimeter, and 3 millimeter ball burr. And so I start with the small one just to pretty much, I guess, like sketch out the exact dot that I would use a drill in. And then I drill a little hole with a really small, tiny little drill. Let me find one. For example purposes, here is a drill that I'm talking about. It's not the exact one I'm talking about. I used a smaller one, but this is the only one I can find right now. I use the smallest ball burr that I have. I make a little mark, and then I start drilling down a little hole. If the piece allows for it, I do drill all the way through. If it doesn't allow for it, I don't drill all the way through. If you can see in this one, you can see that I did not drill all the way through because the band is a daintier band, and if I drill all the way through, it's gonna leave like, you know, it's not gonna look very neat and nice with the type of band and look that I'm going for. I use my smallest one and work my way up until I get to the 3 millimeter and until I can fit at least halfway down into the setting with the ball burr, and I use a hand vise. Here I have both ones done, and I actually nicked my finger a couple times on accident. You can see the little gouges in my finger. And again, I use a hand vise. Rotary tool that I have is just way too fast. It doesn't have any kind of setting where you can change the speed of it. So I'm kind of left with like a super fast drill, and it does the work for the most part. But when it comes to stone setting, it is a little difficult to work with. And so instead of like screwing up my piece, I'd rather just do it by hand. Even if it takes a little longer, it's a lot more worth it in the end because I can really take control of what's happening, and the drill doesn't like shoot off to the side because of how fast it's going, anything like that. And so I just went in and did all of the different kind of ball burrs and really got it to a point where the stone is sitting flush in it. And I never popped it in because I wanted to wait for that to do it on camera. So I have the diamond on some blue tack, and we're just gonna pop this sucker in. And then we're gonna pop, hopefully you guys will be able to hear the little pop sound it makes. So I'm just using my finger and looking at it from the side, making sure that it does sit evenly, and it's a flush fit. So let's see. Okay, ready? So I'm gonna use my burnisher. Oh, where's my burnisher? So I'm gonna use the bottom of my burnisher and just kind of make sure it's really popped in there. Now I'm gonna hit it off to the side, see if it pops out. Yeah, no, it's in there pretty hard. Good. Good, good, good. Yeah, looks great. Okay, so now we're just gonna do exactly what we did in the video prior where we stone set. I cannot show you. So I'm using the curved end of my burnisher where it's pointing downward, and it's in between the metal and the stone. So, like so. So it's in between the metal and the stone. The pointed part is like this, there's the stone on the bottom half and the metal on the top half. And I'm just rotating it around and making sure that it's pushing the metal down around the stone, meaning it'll be flush set. Just following the edge of our stone, going around and around, pushing that metal onto the stone. And again, it's okay if you make a couple of slides. You know, you slide off your piece a little bit. I do that every now and then. You can fix that in the end when you are polishing your piece up. You can see a quick little swipe from your... Okay, I think our stone's in there pretty good. The best test for testing if your stone is secure in a flush setting is just using a rotary tool on it, whether it's polishing, sanding, whatever. The motion of the rotary tool will get it to move if it's not in there flush. So we're gonna go ahead and go in with our rotary tool, start polishing and cleaning up the edges that I had accidentally scratched with my burnishing tool. And we'll see how good it's sitting in there. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Oh my gosh, it is so pretty. Oh my gosh, I'm ecstatic. And it'll match the diamond dewdrop pendant too. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. That is so pretty. Okay. Let me clean this up and I'll show you post. If the stone doesn't move. If the stone is moving and it's really not in there flush, I will let you know. But if not, you will see the finished product in a nice little up close setting. I just finished washing it after polishing, and oh my goodness, she is so pretty. I'm genuinely ecstatic. I think it is so adorable. I think it turned out great. I think it is so cute. It's a 3mm diamond. I'm just so in love with this. I think it's going to be so cute. I love the idea of a promise ring, and I also love the idea of it being something that you would want to replace. Because if you're getting a promise ring and you get your engagement ring, this would be a great thing to either wear on your thumb or wear on the other finger's ring. Or when you get older, it'd be great to pass down. So it's so cool what you can do with jewelry, and I'm just so proud of how this turned out. And yeah, if you're looking for a promise ring, I'm your gal. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video where we make a flush set diamond ring. So very pleased with how this turned out. I really love it. I've been wearing it nonstop. I need to make more gold pieces. I never realized how much I loved diamond until making this ring. I always thought diamond was a very overrated stone, especially because diamonds aren't necessarily rare. They're just kind of gate kept. And so having worked with them, I see the reason why they're so popular. They're so sparkly. I've never really worked with something so sparkly. I just adore it. I love it. I literally look at it all the time. I love it so much. If you are in the market to get a promise ring or just any kind of birthstone ring, a simple stone ring, anything like that, definitely check it out. It will be out soon. I hope this video gets you inspired to create or gives you some Christmas shopping inspiration. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you do feel so inclined. Please leave any prayer requests down below in the comments and I'll be praying for you. But yeah, I will see you guys when I see you. God bless you. Love you guys. Bye. Today we're making a promise ring with diamond and 14 karat gold. I've been working on a launch for a little while now, and I knew I wanted to include a promise ring. I know that with promise rings, they're initially meant to be replaced one day. With that in mind, I wanted to make something that I knew you could continue to wear even after you received your engagement ring. Whether you switch it up and wear it on different fingers, or you remelt it down and make a pendant out of it, I think this is such a cool design, especially given that I'll be offering it with birthstone options as well as diamond. And here's the finished piece. The best part about this design is that it doesn't have to be a promise ring. It can just be a cute little diamond or birthstone ring that you have or a gift to someone. And the best part about a promise ring is that it doesn't necessarily have to be between you and your spouse. It can be a promise of purity, a promise between you and God, a promise between you and a family member or your best friend, or a way of promising to remember someone by putting their birthstone in it or something like that. There's so many different ways that you can customize this ring to be sentimental and special to you. This will be available very soon, so stay tuned.